Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Great to be with you on Inspirations for Your Life. It's Sunday, it's August 10th, and that means we are on the second day of the master topic, which we kicked off just yesterday on the first. Remember, we go from Saturday and we end on Friday. The master topic for the week is the power of story, exploring people, ideas, and events that shape us. And the granular topic just for tonight is Lessons from the Past, Series 4, Show 33, Episode number 2. Hey, friends, if this is the first time you're joining us, well, welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. I'm so grateful that you decided to be here with us. If you're coming back for the first of the millionth time, well, welcome back. We always love people that come back to the show and decide to apply this knowledge to their life. If you haven't heard about BelieveMeAchieve.com, why not check that out after the show? It's a place where you can get the content 24 hours a day. You can watch short form, long form articles, and so much more. Again, 24 hours a day. Has the podcasts and everything else, our YouTube channels, and lots of other stuff. So definitely check that out. If you're thirsty, guys, I have my Mason Perrier water. No, they're not a sponsor, but it's pretty cool because it's a forever blackberry. And it has 0 calories, and it's actually pretty cool. 0 calories, and it has a little bit of sweetness, so it's kind of natural. It's crafted in the south of France. Again, they don't pay me anything to say this to you, but I just think it's a cool beverage. Anyway, it has the nice sparkling flavor. So if you want something, go ahead and head out and get that, and hurry on back, guys, so we can kick off the show. All right, welcome once again, everyone, to Inspirations for Your Life, the show, where I uncover the wisdom of the past to navigate the challenges of today and build a brighter tomorrow. I'm your host, serial entrepreneur, video producer, graduate student, marketing specialist, and a passionate person that is really curious about learning and education and how that can help my life and how that can help so many other people. And I'm also a podcast coach as well. So we're going to talk about the power of reflection. And together we'll explore how history's greatest lessons, both successes and unfortunately those mistakes which help us learn, can shape the way we think, we lead, and we live. These aren't just stories from long ago. They're roadmaps to personal growth, leadership excellence, and a life filled with, well, purpose. Is your life filled with purpose? And I think sometimes that can confuse some people because they don't really realize, like what's happening. But I want to tell you that it's important to understand this. And so, number one is key historical events that shaped current challenges. History is a mirror, folks, reflecting the struggles and the victories that still continue to shape our lives every day. From pivotal wars to transformative social movements, these events offer insight into the roots of today's conflicts, innovations, and cultural shifts. By studying and, of course, these turning points, we gain a deeper understanding of why certain challenges persist in our lives and how to tackle them, well, head on with perspective and intelligent foresight. Number two, guys, mistakes repeat across generations. It's been said that those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And we see this truth play out again and again and again. Whether it's economic collapses, political missteps, or societal blind spots, the patterns are there. Recognizing these recurring mistakes gives us a chance to break the cycle and create more sustainable and wise solutions. But many people, unfortunately, they don't. They ignore these patterns. Number three, wisdom passed down and its modern relevance. So the proverbs, strategies, and stories handed down through generations aren't dusty relics, guys. They're timeless tools, ancient problem-solving methods, moral lessons, and leadership principles, often helping us find surprising relevance in our modern tech-driven world. The key is adapting to them when losing their essence, unfortunately, can be right at the presence of our fingertips. Number four, ignoring lessons leads to bigger consequences. When leaders, communities, or individuals dismiss the past, the costs can escalate exponentially very quickly. Small warnings ignored can snowball into major crises. From environmental mismanagement to diplomatic blunders, history shows that awareness and early action are far less costly than denial and damage control. Number five, guys, patterns in human behavior over time. While technology, politics, and landscape evolves, human nature remains strikingly consistent. Ambition, fear, greed, and hope have driven decisions for centuries and will to come for many more. Understanding these patterns not only helps predict future challenges, but also equip us to respond with empathy and foresight. Number six, guys, applying past strategies to present problems. History offers a wealth of tested solutions, from conflict resolution approaches to economic recovery models. The trick is not to copy them blindly, but to adapt them to today's unique context. By doing so, we can innovate without starting from scratch. Number seven, guys, how technology changes, but core issues remain the same. From printing presses to the internet, each technological leap has brought both opportunities and challenges in the same breath. Yet the debates around ethics, privacy, and misuse are echoes of the past, recognizing that the medium changes, but the moral dilemmas persist, keeping us grounded in wise decision making. I think everybody today wants to jump ahead, even when it might not be time to, right? Or they want to throw away like the whole pot. Maybe they just burn something, but they want to throw away the whole pot. All you need to do is throw away what's burned, right? We have to be I'm going to say very speculative inspectors and be aware of things. Number eight, guys, stories that inspire resilience and growth. The past is rich with accounts of individuals and communities that overcame, well, overwhelming odds. These stories remind us that resilience is not just about survival, folks. It's about adapting, learning, and emerging stronger. They serve as a motivational compass for our own journeys. I've talked about this before, guys, and that is your GPS. Many of you have GPSs. And so when you put the information in the GPS, what happens if you don't pay attention to it? Well, basically, you're going to be lost. And the GPS tries to warn you, right? But if you set it and you don't pay attention to it, even if you make a misturn, it tries to redirect you. It tries to course correct. But if you just decide to ignore it, well, it's going to be a big part of the problem, right? All right, guys. So this is the part of the show I really like. I'm going to go ahead and give you a personal lesson, basically for each point. And I'm hoping that this will act as a catalyst, okay? And maybe it'll get you to take some action that you didn't really plan on taking. I think we learn the best when there's situations. I'm not saying we want situations, right? But we learn the best when there's a situation because we don't want to repeat that over and over again, right? We just don't want to. And so when we choose to understand what's going on in our life, well, we become a lot smarter. And we also become more resilient. So when we talk about key historical events that shape current challenges, when I think about history shaping our current challenges, I am reminded about how the dot-com bubble in the late 90s mirrored many of today's startup booms. Back then, people chased every tech idea with wild enthusiasm, ignoring fundamentals. The bursts that followed taught me the importance of balancing innovation and sustainability. It's easy to get swept up in excitement, but lasting success comes from measured growth. And I think that's something that many people starting business for the first time don't understand, right? The perspective has changed how I approach every new venture. Instead of chasing every shiny opportunity, I now ask, what did similar venturers in the past do wrong? What did they get right? By looking at history, um, it has a way of reframing it. Okay. And so I'm able to see some of history's biggest wins and losses, and I avoid repeating those mistakes and making a more grounded strategic decisions. Even though my heart wants to jump somewhere, I'm like, well, wait a minute, John, this might not be the greatest idea for you. Let's think about this first. Mistakes repeatedly across generations. I once joined a collaboration with some people, and where we expanded too quickly without a solid foundation. It was a not for profit. A mistake I later realized mirrored historical and economic crashes caused by over leveraging. Like many before me, I ignored the warning signs because I was caught up in the momentum that it would all work out. Mindset is the same trap leaders have fallen into for centuries. Since then, I've learned to watch for repeating patterns, whether in business or personal life. I pause to consider if I'm, let's say, walking a path others have stumbled on before. History doesn't just tell us stories, it shows us patterns in human behavior that we can actively choose to break. But so many people get caught up in their ego that they feel that they have to do this, even though every muscle, bone, and gut in their body is saying, don't do it. They still do it. Wisdom passed down and its modern relevance. My grandfather, God rest his soul, both of them, used to say to me, John, measure twice and cut once. And this was a true statement given by my grandfather, who actually knew carpentry very well. And first, I didn't understand that because he's like, if you measure twice, you cut once, you don't make a mistake. At first, it felt like old fashioned advice meant for carpenters. But over time, I realized it applies to nearly every decision I make. That wisdom passed down through generations still saves me from costly mistakes that I could potentially make today. Thank you, Grandpa Morley. I really do appreciate that. The beauty of old lessons is that they remain relevant even when circumstances change. Whether I'm negotiating a contract or designing a new project, slowing down to prepare thoroughly often leads to better results. Ancient advice, when applied with a modern lens, can be the difference between failure and success. So let's take a look right now. Back then we didn't have internet, right? We didn't have the www, which some people called it the World Wide Wait because it was so slow when it came out. It was dial-up, right? Then we went to a lot faster internet. I remember being in high school and having AOL. Many of you remember that. Still have it today for just keeping in touch with some friends. But it's not really a corporate email, right? And also, I remember having to set my computer so it would dial up, grab my email, and log off. And it would do this during school time. And then sometimes what would happen is after a while with some Microsoft updates and what we called the WinSocks, well, it would connect, but then it wouldn't have internet. Well, because their updates just didn't play very nicely. And the thing that's very interesting today is AI, right? So we didn't have AI back then. And so the lesson is that AI is not here to replace everything. It's not here to replace humans. It can help and augment them. Just like I like to say, if you're in a relationship, whether you're getting married or just living with somebody, it's very important to understand one thing, and that is no person in this world will ever complete you. They won't. They will enhance your life. And that's all you should be looking for from a relationship. If you're looking for somebody to complete you, well, you're going to be disappointed every single day of your life. Ignoring lessons leads to bigger consequences. I wish more people would follow this advice. Early in my career, I ignored feedback about potential flaws in a product I was developing. I thought we could fix it later, but later never came before the market reacted. The fallout was bigger, more expensive, and more damaging than if I'd listened early. Today, when somebody gives me advice, I listen to it. I may not react to it, but I at least examine it for what it's worth, and I look for who's given it to me and what has their past record been. History is full of warnings like this: environmental disasters, political unrest, economic meltdowns, all worsened because early signs were ignored. How about Trump's whole thing now about putting tariffs back in place, right? That could be a very big problem for a lot. I now make it a personal rule to address problems at the first sign instead of hoping they'll go away. It's always cheaper to fix a small leak than to repair a major flood. patterns in human behavior, guys, over time. I've noticed that in every networking group or business venture I've been in, human nature shows up in the same ways. It's ambition, it's jealousy, it's generosity, and it's collaboration. Unfortunately, some of these do harm the others. These core traits haven't changed in centuries. The names, technologies, and industries may be different today, but the drivers behind decision, well, they kind of feel timeless. It's just we've adapted new technology, new vehicles, right? Many years ago, what did we have? We didn't have a car. We had foot. We had Pony Express. We had Stagecoach, right? We didn't get cars right away. Now we have buses, we have trains, we have airplanes, and many other types of vehicles. Recognizing these patterns has helped me navigate challenges more calmly. Instead of being shocked when competition gets fierce or alliances shift, I prepare for it. It's not about being cynical, it's about being aware that people's motivations are often deeply rooted in history's repeated behaviors. Applying past strategies to present problems. When a client's business was struggling, I drew inspiration from Franklin D. Roosevelt's approach during the Great Depression. Create small, actionable programs instead of one massive overhaul. By breaking the turnaround into bite sized, achievable steps, we build momentum and confidence in ourselves and others. See, that experience showed me that history isn't just interesting, it's a playbook, just like on the football or the baseball field or the basketball arena. The strategies that worked decades or even centuries ago can often be adapted to solve modern problems. The trick is adjusting them to today's pace and tools without losing the wisdom behind them. Let's talk about making butter. Now, we don't make butter the same way with people using their feet or their hands, taking hours, right? We don't do that. But we have technology that can do that in a shortened amount of time. How technology changes, but core issues do remain the same. When social media became popular, I noticed the same ethical questions that surfaced when the printing press, as I said, was invented. Who controls the information? How is it used? And how misinformation spreads, well, rather quickly. The tools are different, but the core debates are the same. Understanding this helps me stay balanced in the tech adoption. I don't fear new technology, but I don't assume it's automatically progress either. I ask the same questions others contemplate over, having been asked before in other centuries. Does it empower people? Does it respect privacy? Is it being used ethically? I have to refer back to our wonderful Pope in Rome. And he made a statement not too long ago saying that, we have to not let AI and technology on the overhaul be something that is going to undermine humanity in so many words. And so I think that's a very important thing, that we don't allow that. And we have to be responsible for what we use, what we do, what we employ, and how we do it. Somebody said to me before, John, we've heard before the term of money, radis valorem est cupiditas. But I came to realize something today, which is interesting, right? So we say that a computer's not good, a computer's not bad. We say that, weapons are not good, they're not bad. They're tools, right? How we choose to use it makes it so. I want to rock your world with something here. Money, guys, is not good. It's not bad. It is a tool, and how we choose to use it that makes it so. I just came to this conclusion, really. And I think when we start to understand, because a lot of people have had fears about money because the money has actually made them into somebody that they don't want to be. But the truth of the matter is they were already that person before they had the money. It just exacerbated, accelerated the situation. So remember, whatever tools you have, whether it's a computer, whether it's AI, a computer software, whether it's your car, whether it's some security cameras, everything can be used for good and it can be used for bad. How we choose to use it makes it that way. And the same thing comes with money. Money's not good, and money's not bad. So all of you out there that are fearful of money and saying, radis valorem est cupiditas because you got taught this in school, they gave you the wrong message. They forgot to tell you that money can be good as long as you use it for the greater good of all concerned. Let me give you some examples. Maybe you want to make a donation, but you want to make an anonymous donation. That's a great use of it. Maybe you want to use your money to overpower someone. Well, if it's something in competition, no problem. But if you're trying to do something for revenge or get back at someone, well, that's a bad use of money. All right. I hope that helps a little bit. And as you have more of an appreciation of money and can understand what it means, hopefully more of it will flow into your life. I think a lot of people don't get money into their life because they're afraid, oh my gosh, you're going to have millions of dollars. And what do I do because now I'm a bad person? No, you're not a bad person because you get money. You choose to use it in a way that can empower you. And I think that's really, really a big showstopper for today's show. Stories that inspire resilience and growth. One of my favorite historical stories is of the Thomas Edison, who failed thousands of times. I think it was 999 times before inventing the light bulb. He had to go through all these different kinds of filament. And when I hit my own setbacks from failed product launches to missed opportunities, I remind myself that persistence often matters more than the immediate success. I know people around us, our parents and friends and people around, they all want us to be successful immediately. And they all say you're wasting your time, but you're not. You are on a road for success. In my own life, the project that took the longest and faced the most roadblocks often became the most rewarding. Resilience isn't just about enduring tough times. It's about learning and evolving through them. The past shows us that those who kept going, even after repeated failures, are the ones who eventually make history. I want to take a reference to a good professor of mine, Dr. Gray from the University of Hartford. Great man. I used to think that his sole purpose in life was to destroy my social life. Because you have to realize he would give us programs to do. Like we'd have class on Monday, and he would tell us, well, you have the week and it has to be in by, next Monday. But they would take all week. And I remember doing a program for him. I took many programming courses. And those of you who don't know, I'm back in school again, getting my master's in computer science AI and then my PhD. He wanted us to develop a program, and he wanted us to use a type of structure called a linked list, which is where we store things in memory. So there's two types of memory. We have dynamic memory and we have static memory. And I'm not going to bore you with this because I know it's not a tech show. But static memory is all allocated at compile time before the program actually gets run. Dynamic memory is allocated at runtime. So it's able to, release resources, add resources, keeping things very efficient. However, at the time I was using Borland software, which incidentally my professor did not like. But anyway, and by the way, Borland actually kind of went out of business because all the good developers got bought out by Microsoft, which I wasn't too happy about. But I really loved Borland. Anyway, the thing that was very interesting is that I spent a lot of time writing this program, and the program was working flawless. But the minute I implemented linked list, it was a disaster. And so in Borland, they have this ability so you can check the variables, which I thought was really cool. Unfortunately, I would just keep doing this, and it kept crashing. And it was a Sunday night before the program was due, which was due that the next day, Monday evening at 5:00, I had to be presented. And it was my final project for the semester. It was actually it was actually my second to last project. I actually had one more that I did after that called ICLID, which was incoming caller line ID, which I researched from Bell Labs. And so what this taught me, I wound up going to church on Sunday, coming back, because I really didn't take much of a break other than food. It taught me that something that was so obvious that I trusted should not be trusted. So I started looking at the variables and I started realizing, oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. And it wasn't something John was doing wrong. It's something the program was doing wrong. But you can't expect every resource to work the way it's supposed to, or the instructions say it's supposed to work. What's supposed to happen when lists are created is supposed to be initialized, right? What I was doing was reading a list before it had null in it. And when you do that, it'll crash the program. And so now I realized something very important. And that was anytime I use a linked list, then or now, because I don't trust systems, I initialize my entire list before loading it or reading it. And that was probably one of my biggest accomplishments in software development, because that stuck with me my whole life. And I learned that really powerful lesson that you have to initialize. It took me many hours, but I will never, ever forget why you have to initialize. And so Lessons can sometimes be painful. I get that, right? So if a lesson is painful, I ask you to break away what the lesson is, what you learn from it. Okay, there's got to be some good from it. And then throw away the rest, because the rest, guys, is baggage. I don't care if it's a issue with your neighbor, your partner, a friend, a colleague. Think about what you learn from that. I had a friend, kind of an ex-friend, because this friend always just kept trying to report me to the police when I did nothing wrong. And I realized something. I realized that it's not my job to make everybody like me. And I also realized that I need to tread lighter. If I'm friendly and they don't reciprocate with the friendliness, I need to back off, because people will take that as being, well, malicious, even though that was not my intent. So once you get burned in one way, you're careful, you're cautious about things that are happening, right? You're really, really cautious. So I hope that tonight's show helps to bring up some things, maybe helps you reflect on your past. And in addition to that, I hope you get to see your past as an opportunity to build a better future. Now, I know people say, don't let's say focus on the past. And they're right, because, you focus on the past, you're going to repeat it. But I tell you to focus on the past for the lesson. Once you have the lesson, then go ahead and just forget about what that was, right? And I think if you do that, guys, you're going to have an amazing life. By the way, if you guys notice, as you've been watching, brand new laptop, Extreme 9, really powerful, much better camera. As you can see, a much wider angle, and really grateful to be here. Got a brand new keyboard too, a Logitech MX200. We'll catch you guys real soon. Just go to believemeachieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. I'll catch you real soon, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your night.